What's going on, guys? Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I want to talk about a quote from Matt LaFleur. So if you've missed it this week, it's the NFL owners meeting. So all the NFL world is in one spot. You have the owners, the GMs, the coaches, and there's been some media availability. And there was a quote from earlier today that stood out for me from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. He was talking about their wide receiver room, and he said, quote, "We're going to have to add some bodies to that room." Now, I don't know about you, but I could think of one pretty easy way to add bodies to that room. Interestingly enough, the New York Jets and Green Bay Packers are already currently in negotiations for some guy named Aaron Rodgers. So if they want a wide receiver, hell, the Jets have two options that they could absolutely part ways with in order to land Aaron Rodgers and help out the Green Bay Packers. Now, I'm not saying move both of those guys, but maybe one of the two guys could be included in the trade, and that is one Denzel Mims and Corey Davis. And there's a couple reasons why one of those two guys could be included in the trade. I'm not saying a definite, but could be included in the trade. Number one, we'll start with Corey Davis. The Packers supposedly were very interested in him last year and tried to trade for him last season. He is kind of what Allen Lazard does in a sense, as a bigger body wide receiver who can block really well. They lost Allen Lazard. They need a replacement there. They have a young wide receiver room. They could use a veteran, enter Corey Davis. Now, Davis's cap hit probably is a little bit too high for what Green Bay could pallet. So he would have to rework that deal. That's been done before. We just saw Brandon Cooks get traded and saw his deal get reworked. So it's not impossible for them to acquire him and then rework that deal. The other being Denzel Mims. Okay, so why Denzel? Well, it just hasn't worked out with the New York Jets. In 3 years with the Jets, the second rounder does not have a touchdown yet. He's shown signs, more so in his rookie year, a little bit at times last year, but for the most part, just has not worked here. Could get a bigger role. Kind of, again, fills an Allen Lazard role, significantly cheaper than Corey Davis. Maybe there's upside there. There absolutely could be upside, but hasn't reached that potential at the NFL level yet, so it's a risk, but he's not going to cost you a whole lot. Big, red zone threat, jump ball wide receiver who blocks well. There you go. But he's also young, so again, there's probably, you can make the case for either side. Hey, we want the veteran, and that's why you would rather go Corey Davis and rework the contract. Or, hey, we can't afford it. Let's take a swing on the young guy who actually requested a trade last offseason, which a lot of people forget about. He's been able to smooth things over, which is a good thing. But at the end of the day here, could they try to land and then fix Denzel Mims? Yeah, I don't see why not. So one of those two guys, absolutely. And if, like we talked earlier today, the framework for this deal seems like it's a second this year, a second next year, with the condition of it potentially being a first, depending on how far the Jets go. They are potentially looking for a fifth round or some late pick in 2025 back for insurance if Rodgers doesn't play in 2024. Maybe they're able to get that if they throw in a wide receiver in the mix. And yes, we saw Robert Saleh yesterday talk up Corey Davis and him wanting Corey to stick around, but also, they could move him and save that $10 million and then allocate some money elsewhere. That's also something they could do. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think a wide receiver is going to be in the deal? Sound off. I'm Matt. Catch you next time.